What's up, everybody? ADHD thought, but I don't know why it popped into my head as soon as this thing started playing. But yeah, my ex Tiffany, she had me in her phone as asshole, and I had her in my phone as Tiffers. The reason why I did that is because I called her that one time, and she said, that's cute, but don't call me that. And then my mom started calling her that, so I put her in my phone as that, and she put me in her phone as asshole for that. I thought it was funny. So did she for a while. It was a big joke. But apparently, she also used that to make people think other things. But yeah, well, anybody's going to be a so called asshole if you're stabbing them in the back and they're taking care of you every which way they turn. You're just lying around, basically pointing and directing what you want. You're not taking care of the family. You're not taking care of your home. You're not taking care of yourself. You're not taking care of your family at all. You're not working. So, I mean, no, she got into these empowerments because she had everything in her name. And that's the way she acted when she knew that she could just use the law because of legally stating things. And that's what she pushed everything into. Oh, yeah, we had talks about it a lot. And of course, she would lie and manipulate. Just like when I asked her why she did what she did to get David in trouble, and she would swear up and down it wasn't her fault. And I started, you know, well, this was you, this was you, this was you. You told me this was CPS, you told me this was your mom, you told me this was this, and blah, 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 blah. Come to find out, it was all you. And we weren't fighting, we weren't upset with each other or nothing at any of those times that you were trying to do that stuff. So, what was going on? Why are you telling me after all you did in Cedar Hill, then all that you did in between Cedar Hill and Lakeside, you're like playing games back and forth with like people I don't know, and they don't know me, and telling me one thing, going around telling them another, stealing money here, hiding this there. I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, you know me. I don't give a shit about all those people. They can think whatever they want. You know better. Your mom outside the courtroom. A few minutes before that, she said I was her boy. Yeah, trying to manipulate, and I ignored her because this is the woman that actually murdered my kids. She's the one that actually did the act. Yes, David helped. That was all part of their plan. Yes, it was. Well, that's hard to believe. No shit. That's why they did it that way. Tiffany had a whole couple of years of CPS, saying that's hard to believe and watching things go down that CPS wasn't listening to with Jen and Jazz. And even Tiffany flipped out on CPS multiple times, calling them stupid and whatnot because of what we had and showing them, and they just said that that was hard to believe. So what I'm saying is, she had a whole training course of, shoot, I can do this shit, and nobody's gonna believe it. So what stops a person that's lazy that doesn't want to really take care of those kids? She only did that for a gold digging scam. Yeah, this is how she thinks. That's why I said she was cold. She didn't give a shit about their life, what they felt, what they wanted. She acts like it in front of people. Of course, she has to. If not, everybody will see the true her. my niece Ange, we were talking, and she's like, "Well, I never seen her be abusive or anything like that." I said, "Yes, you have." I said, "You were the one covering for her cheating. What are you talking about? You're the one that came to my house and got her drunk every day. Are you kidding me? What the fuck are you talking about?" Well, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Well, you live a totally different life than she does. She said she wanted a family, a husband, and she's going to do stuff like that. Yeah, you can't sit there and say you want to be a family woman and still live a street life behind his back. If you come into a man's life wanting marriage, kids, and all this shit, and then think you're going to live a street life behind his back, you're going to be divorced, and they know it. They're not that stupid. They just play dumb, like I said, until they get what they want and act like they just fell into it. Oh, really? Oh. Look how mad they get when they don't get it. Right. Get the hell out of here, man. The United States government, law enforcement, CPS, and feminists have turned it into a money racket. Kids are nothing but a paycheck and a way to advance their life without working. They feel giving birth to that child was enough work. It's a lot of work. It is. But that's only part of it. Most men go through excruciating pain and still go to work. And appendicitis is very, very close to what women feel. I took it like a champ. Getting kicked in the balls is more pain. Yeah, it is. They also the thing that most of these women won't admit to is most of them beg and beg and beg, either out loud or silently, to get that. And then once they get it, it's all the man's fault. But they're the ones that benefit from it. What? This is what kids are to women? Wow. Well, David, that's not right. There's some good mothers out there. Yeah, we don't know if they're really good mothers now, do we? They seem to be. Manipulation from women is like fucking. Some of them are top tier. Men too. They always have to bring in that curveball when I'm, just trying to stay on this path, and that's how they divert. Just like that. And I know that's if I was in a group of people, that's what they'd be saying. Well, men do it too. Diversion. We're not talking about men. We're talking about women and why they set men up and families acting like the princess in distress. But every one of them, after a dude will do that, even though they know what they're setting him up to do, is the white knight scenario. They'll just say no to the ones they don't think is attractive or the ones that they weren't targeting. Sometimes the ones that they're targeting won't give them the time of day, so they'll go after the one that's annoying them and destroy his life. And you don't hear it, but silently they're like, all right, I didn't get him. This one won't leave me alone. You're my next victim. And I know. Gotta throw the sidebar in. Well, men do it too. Yes, once again, I know. I'm not talking about that. I don't date men. I'm bringing to light what women do. Just like a whole group of women get on a podcast or make their own app to bring to light what so called F boys do. They're not even real men. And these women keep broadcasting that this is what men do. No, real men don't do that. We also don't put up with y'all's bullshit. It's pretty funny when a lady is strong, independent, blah 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 blah, and she don't put up with no bullshit, she's a hero. But if it's a guy that's toxic, he's crazy, he's an asshole, he's this, he's that. Who decides this? Oh, that's right. People let women decide. What? That's like letting the competitors judge themselves at the competition. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. See, that's another reason why a lot of these so-called street women don't care what anybody else thinks, because they know what they do to manipulate people. So they're basically trying to form some type of shield in between somebody else that might be manipulating them, and that's what they do. What do you think Medea, or what do you think the visualization of I've got to get them before they get me is without speaking? What do you think it's with pissed off looks and, well known body signals? No. Sometimes, yeah. Not always. Ridiculous, really. Yeah, Tiff got jealous because a lot of women liked me when me and Tiff were dating. She knew she didn't have anything to worry about. She knew it. It wasn't, oh, well, a lot of men do that. No, men don't do that. I've already explained that. F boys do that, and that is my brother. That is not me. Yeah, man. I treated them like princesses. I gave them anything and everything they could ever need or want, as long as they were loyal, respectful, and loved me. That was it. As in, they chose what they wanted. They were not forced at any point. Oh, yeah. I heard my ex telling people that I forced my kids to pick the football team that they picked. She knows damn well that ain't true. She's just mad because they didn't pick Giants. They were able to pick any football team they wanted. Now, how they did that on their own was they just picked the Eagles. And I'm like, what? Are you sure? You don't want to watch, other teams and decide for yourself? And they said no. So I said, all right, whatever. They could have done the same thing about the Giants. Of course, I would have given them a little bit, you're wrong. I got to get introduce them to what's going to happen. Yeah, it was goofing off with my kids because, they picked a team, if they did, that I didn't go with. So, yeah, I mean, it would be like my brother or my cousins or my nieces or nephews picking another team that I don't go with. I mess with them the same way. My nephew Brian, he goes for Baltimore. And I said, I can't wear purple. I couldn't vote or go for a team that their color is purple. Oh, that has nothing to do with blah, blah. I know I don't. I never said it did. I just said I couldn't. My real problem with Baltimore team is the fact that they sold their one team overnight, and everybody that invested in that team lost everything. They lost their team. They lost all the money they put into it. You know, that's ridiculous. You could at least gave them the heads up. In a month or so, it's going to be sold. Blah 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 blah. I thought that was a dick move, and I'm not going for a city team that's going to do that. Not only that, the way I picked the Eagles was I was 7 or 8 years old. No, yeah, I was 7 or 8. and we were watching a football game, and everybody, we had everybody around. My stepbrothers, my cousins, my nieces, my nephews, everybody was around. I was young. Yeah, I had a niece and a nephew when I was young. Okay, by marriage. Uh, anyway, we're all sitting in the den watching, you know, football game, and everybody's yelling at me because I haven't picked a team yet. And I'm like, ah. And Dallas and Eagles were playing. I said, all right, whoever wins this game, that'll be my team. And the Eagles beat them, and they've been my team ever since. I don't know. That's just how I picked my team. I was really just doing it as a goof off thing, but ended up, liking the Eagles, yelling at them every season, every year, even though they were terrible for a while. Yeah. Loyal to my football team, loyal to my kids, loyal to my job, loyal to my customers, loyal to anybody that's ever, stood behind me, really. Done shit for people that most people would never do. Shit. I'm still loyal to the same combo I get at the restaurant if I ever go. Well, that means you're predictable. No, it means I know what I like. It doesn't mean I can't be spontaneous. It doesn't mean I'm not good at surprises. It doesn't mean I'm not good if I'm in a relationship with romantic things. Yes, I am. I'm one of the best. And that's what makes those surprises so much better because they never know when it's coming. They think everything's predictable and feels like this or that. Well, that's the way it goes so you can save money. You only splurge every once in a while. You don't do wild and crazy things every day. Well, going to get iced coffee at Dunkin's not wild and crazy. Yes, it is. You can make that at home, for one. For two, you're out there paying what, $5 to $10 a fucking cup of coffee just because it's got ice in it? And because it says Dunkin' on it? Get the fuck out of here. That is wild and crazy. If you're just saving up money, just say that. Even if I wasn't, you don't understand. I could be Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos money. I'd still do that. Yeah, I'd be like the guy that sold Beards Hill Plaza land to uh, the people that put that shopping center there. I'd be just like him. That dude was a multimillionaire, still riding around on a 10-speed mountain bike. Yep, that would be me. Nobody would ever know. There'd probably be rumors, people be talking, but they wouldn't know for sure. I probably wouldn't keep it all anyway. It'd probably be invested in other things. I'm also noticed that a lot of this philanthropy people are some really sick people. How is it that the sickest of people end up in those spots? Oh, because they're trying to manipulate. That's why. And it puts them in access to things that they want to really do some bad stuff. Boy, I wonder if we got a book that tells us about that. Evil will come upon the earth as an angel of light, teaching us things, being our friends, here as a helper, but really is a hinderer. Imagine that. No, I'm not your ideal person of God. Most of us aren't. Everybody's not perfect. I try to be. I have things that come along that get me into situations that make me look out of my character or make me have to act out of my character, my true character. And if you all took a step back and looked, I told you my life was hectic. Look what happened when I shared a story of what happened with my kids. Told you my exes were crazy, and they showed it to all of you. And what'd you all do? You believe their bullshit. Like, well, some of you did. Other ones are like, well, yo, these bitches are crazy. Yeah, I had stacks and stacks of that, and still do. But you got these feminists out here that like to manipulate situations like that so people don't know the truth. Because most likely them or their friends are that way. So they got to play the part to keep it silent. That way it can still be used. Even though it ain't silent, people know they do it. But for some reason, it's like court systems and stuff walk around with their head just staring at the ceiling. Oh, we don't see nothing. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.